Can I survive flying to every TFS airport with just 4% fuel? And can I butter land a plane in full crosswind? You guys sent me insane dares. Today, I will be completing 8 of the craziest ones. Let's go! The challenges will become more and more interesting until we get to the hardest ones at the end. Let's get right into the first dare. Do a landing challenge where after each butter you have to increase crosswind by 10 knots. Alright, this will be interesting. For the first landing, let's disable wind completely. Almost there. Great. Now we need to increase the crosswind. Already, we can see how the wind is pushing us to the left of the runway. This should still be pretty easy. There we go. Let's increase the wind speed even more. Wow, that was easier than I expected. Now I will turn the wind all the way up so we have full crosswind. Yeah, this is definitely becoming much harder to control. That wasn't too good. One more try. Perfect. Challenge completed. Dare number 2. Fly your plane from archipelago to main island with the worst weather. Only use 5 to 7% fuel with the RL-42. This one is already much more difficult. Of course, let's start by setting the RL-42 fuel to 5% and setting up the right weather conditions. Here we are. With just around 10 minutes of fuel left after takeoff, will we make it to main island? Let's continue flying and find out. We're just about leaving the archipelago and there's only 8 minutes of fuel left. I will stop climbing and keep the throttle at around 50%. With just 5 minutes of fuel left, we're now 2/3 of the way there. Alright, it looks like we will make it, but this is where the weather becomes a problem, as I now have to land the plane without even seeing the airport. Oh wow, that was not even a bad landing. I did not expect to reach the runway this easily, and we still even have 4 minutes of fuel left. Next dare. There's a suspension bridge between the 2 biggest airports on main island. Try to fly the MV40 through the cables. Great, this one seems a little more simple. Let's spawn in. There's the bridge. Oh, I was not expecting to complete that on my first attempt. Dare number 4. Land on a plane with no fuel. This one seems very interesting. My plan is to park the MC-400 aircraft at this hangar, and now land the PS-26 on top of it. There we go, now the plane is out of fuel. Okay, that was not the best landing. I'm gonna try larger aircraft. Well, the RL-42 also crashed. I have an idea how we can definitely get it. I'm not sure if this really counts though. Dare number 5. Land on the runway using 1/4 of it. I will do this at Hill Airport to make it harder since it has a very short runway. If we use the MC-130 with JADO, it's of course really easy. So I will use the RL-72 to make it harder. Great, the aircraft stopped at exactly around 1/4 of the runway. Next one. I dare you to take an RL-72 and fly 5 feet above the river. I'm gonna do this on the main island river. Almost down. There we go, around 5 feet above the water. Something cool we can do here is descend to just 0 feet, and we can actually enable reverse thrust while flying. Even a perfect water landing. Before we get to the hardest dares, I'd like to invite you to our Discord community. Here you can connect with other aviation lovers from all around the world, and you can also send your own challenges for the next dares video. Join using the link in the pinned comment. Now back to the video. Here we have the most insane dare. Do a landing challenge, fly to every airport with MV40 on 4% fuel with deadliest weather. As always, let's set the fuel and the weather. I'll start the challenge at Shore Airport. Alright, we have just 12 minutes of fuel for this flight around the entire TFS map. But I have a plan. I will turn off the engines after every takeoff and try to glide to the next airport. You might think this wastes even more fuel, but in TFS, turning on the engines consumes no fuel at all, so I'm confident this will work. Gulf Airport done. Quickly turn on the engines for the takeoff, and turn them back off. Factory Airport done. Mountains Airport. Hill Airport. Let's glide to main airport. And Field Airport is also done. Now we need to actually make it all the way to the archipelago islands. We still have around 9 minutes of fuel left. I will climb to a good altitude and turn off the engines again. Alright, landing at Terminus Airport, there's still a whopping 8 minutes of fuel left. This is looking great. Here we are at Midland Airport. Beach Airport done. And here we are approaching Cliffs Airport, the last airport of the challenge. Yay, we made it! And the aircraft still has 6 minutes of fuel left, so I only used half of the fuel available. Seems like turning off the engines actually helped. That's actually insane. I was not expecting this to go so well. Maybe I'm just the best TFS pilot. Last dare. Speak Spanish. Hola amigos. Casi nadie sabe que yo hablo español. Me encantan mucho los aviones. share your next dare ideas in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, have a great day, y nos vemos en el siguiente video.